Hi, I'm Anita Craig, founder of Flow and the Master Leader Program. And today I have here with me Dr. Ian Weinberg. What would you say people are coming to you for, your work? What is it that they're really seeking to learn and grow in?
Well, first of all, I come from a place of exploring this concept of consciousness and all its manifestations. My life narrative started off then in the most logical place, which was the neurosciences, the brain as such as the support for consciousness. Then somewhere along the way, something really dramatic happened in the form of PNI or PsychoNeuroImmunology, which really showed us that consciousness or cognitive emotional function had a major part to play on body function and performance. For that, in fact, for me was a major moment, because in fact it introduced this concept of consciousness into wellness and performance. And I did incorporate it, and was probably one of the pioneers in the world that incorporated PNI as an application in the clinical environment. And then somewhere along the way, I got involved with a Buddhist retreat and recognized that which I was applying as our intervention, the core concept and interventions corresponded so well with ancient Buddhist teachings. In fact, in many ways, it was a very humbling experience. I really just reinvented the wheel. But incorporated that, and suddenly it really had a home. It resonated absolutely perfectly. And so I found myself developing the concept. Initially it was pure neuroscience, and then neuropsychologically applied, then PsychoNeuroImmunology was integrated. So we were doing the specific coaching intervention, which we call neuromodulation, because the neuromodulation coaching is a specific kind of coaching which is directed at specific brain areas and brain chemistry, which then elicits certain effects, both in terms of mind states as well as through the cascade, it affects body wellness and performance. Today, we basically do everything from the intervention. We train coaches, we have our interventions, we offer online and real life face-to-face stuff. We've got the psychometric, we've got several online evaluation templates, and we prepare reports, which is the big data with all the indices. So we've got the full spectrum. It's the personal neuropsychological space, and then it is that cold field of big data, but which is used ultimately to reorganize and rearrange the people side of the corporate space.
So the foundations are there, absolutely solid. You're speaking the language of business. It's weighted, it's solid, it's quantifiable. And yet then there's this other component which is almost sits in this intangible realm. Tell me a little bit about that, and how your life and how your vantage point from which you live your life and conduct your life now has been affected as a result of this awakening into consciousness.
That's a big question. That's like what we call a major chunk.
Well, as much as you're willing to share.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy to share it. Just that we need about a day and a half. I work on two levels. I work very much on an intuitive, creative side, and then I've got my very much quantifying side. And by the way, that's pure neuroscience. So neuroscience is the right hemisphere, which is innovation, creativity, sensitivity, connectivity, coming out with concepts, but in themselves are not really usable until you get the left hemisphere to be invited to take these concepts, turn them into something real, and make them viable. So that's how I've always worked in life. And even though I was forced to go into some very, very strange spaces, when I say forced, I mean I needed to go to a different place to provide answers for observations which couldn't be answered in the conventional space.
What would you say in essence that the leaders of today, people of today, need to most learn in their lives going forward, given the context of the world and the situation we're living in today?
So up until, I'm almost moving into a space of pre-COVID, post-COVID. It's very, very strange. I think it has been that powerful that it is creating a completely new space. And prior, it was all about the product, the profitability, the drive, structure your employee base, make them as comfortable as possible, let them have the feel that they're part of the whole machine. And then the individual coaching was also making them as effective as they possibly could be, and was mentoring them into a space always driving higher and better, and it was all calibrated on the basis of greater profitability, greater trimmings of success. There was one element that was always underplayed, and that was value contribution. And value contribution is not just a cliche. Value contribution is something that we've studied in the context of our particular program. It is number 5 of the 5 core elements that we use to enhance learning and change. But it was always underplayed in the face of the others, and the others, in terms of mentoring, was meaning and purpose, self-esteem, self-efficacy, reward, gratification, and achievement. These were the other 4 core elements, but the 5th, the value contribution, was always underplayed. And I do believe that we've now moved into a space where value contribution takes center stage.
Beautiful. Well said. You've summarized it so concretely here. Another question that I'm just personally curious about is your work as a surgeon. How has it been different as your sense of consciousness and awareness has grown on the path? Has something fundamentally shifted about how you approach your work as a surgeon when you're in operating theatre and working with another human being?
In the operating theatre, over the years, something very strange was happening, and that was I was almost subliminally communicating with the patient. So I communicate with the person through their tissues. And I've always been able to, I recognize that tissues reflect the person that I know. It's a very strange phenomenon. Stoic people have different tissues from, and I'm talking about open wounds, have different tissue from those who are very emotional and have certain issues. And I've always seen that.
Any final comments, Ian? Anything that you would want to say to participants thinking about coming on this journey, this inner mastery journey to have greater conscious impact on the world?
I'm connected on a broad front, and I'm very aware of where we are at the moment. We're in a very new space. It's still developing or unfolding. I'm very aware of individuals who are, because of circumstances, are moving into a vacuum, almost an existential vacuum, almost going to the point of an existential crisis. And what I'd like to say at this stage is that there are solutions. There are amazing solutions. What seems like a dark abyss right now, we can transcend. We've done it, and we can recreate meaning, purpose, and transcend that darkness, especially now compounded by the environment that we're in, because really it provides enormous new opportunities. We just have to unlock them. We need to guide, but we can not just resurrect, but we can transcend. And we've seen this, it's our experience. And I'm actually pretty excited about this space, because it's almost, by its compression, has created the potential energy to transcend.
Wonderful, thank you. And we welcome you as one of our deep guides on this journey.
Thanks, thank you.